In the following video, we'll show you how to install SLP 5. First, we're going to extract the files. Double click here, extract all. Then we're going to open up the folder, go into installation program, and we're going to right click on SLP 5 and then run as administrator. We'll say yes to the prompt and then let the wizard run its course. Now what you'll notice here is if this is a new installation of your operating system, your Windows operating system, it's most likely you don't have Windows.net downloaded. The program does require Windows.net. The software will detect if you have it or not. If you don't have it, it will ask you to download it and install it. And if that were to happen, let it download and install. You do have to be connected to the internet. Once that's complete, you're going to have to reinstall SLP5. So you're actually going to have to uninstall it and then reinstall it, because what happens with that Microsoft.net, it doesn't fully allow you to complete the installation of the software. So I know on this system I already have Microsoft.net installed, so I'm just going to hit next. It's going to be client server. We'll hit next and we'll hit install. And we'll let the wizard run. You'll know that's completed because you run into this screen here where you have the site options. We're going to select Canada. Typically, if you haven't installed Microsoft.net, you won't get this far. You won't get to the site options. So that's why if you don't remember that, you'll think that it's installed, but it won't work properly because Microsoft.net was installed, but it didn't finish its installation of SLP5. We're going to leave the select setup file blank. We don't need to choose one, and you can choose your language here. We'll hit OK, and then we'll wait for the program to complete its installation. And then we're going to hit finish. Okay, we can close these folders. Sorry, these windows. So you'll notice that there's two programs on your desktop. One is a blue program. The other one is a green program. The blue program is your program to allow you to modify, delete, or add new PLUs. If you do open it, it's gonna, when you first install it, it's gonna add you for a license. This product key up here on the top right corner, you'll provide that to your Yoshida rep, and down here you'll fill in your license once you get that from your rep. But for the time being, I do have 14 days to use this, so I'm going to hit verify later, and it'll tell me I have 14 days, and I'll hit OK. And because if you have Windows Firewall enabled, you'll get this nag here, so make sure that you allow the access, because if not, the program won't operate properly if you're behind a firewall. So you do have to add the firewall exceptions for that. Also antivirus as well. You make sure if you have an antivirus running that you allow the exceptions for the program as well. I'm going to allow access here. Typically it's on standard user, but you would want to log in as administrator. Standard user will give you less functionality, less features. Usually it's just a view only. You can't modify or add or edit. So we'll go administrator and we'll hit the key to log in. And this is your typical screen. Now I do have a blank database here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to close this for now. We're going to go through an initial setup. I'm going to go under our start button, go under Yoshida, go look at scaling Pro 5 setup utility. So the pink program. This here, and again I get my license verification screen. I'll hit verify later. We'll hit OK. I'm going to log in as administrator. So this program here allows me to manipulate my program, so add functionality to it, add users, and also add scales. So really important here is where I go and add my scale database, my scale IP addresses under a scale setup. Always going to remove this initial one here by clicking on it, highlighting it, and clicking on delete. We'll hit OK. And then I'm going to add a new one. So I'm going to find the new icon here. I'll click new, select your scale type. So by default I'm on a Uni 357 and Nano, so I'm going to enter my IP address. Let's say it's 192.168.2 and 100. We'll hit OK. and let's say it's a Uni 7 or Uni 5. We'll enable the comms log. I can give it a name here. We can call it meet scale, and we'll keep the IP address the same there. You can select your time zone, so I know I'm in the -5 time zone, not Atlantic. Leave it at Eastern time zone. And then FTP settings, you can leave that as default. You can also filter. So if you get into large databases, you can specify to exclude certain ranges by setting it to a scale. So in typical, where would you use that? Let's say you have one department in produce, another department in meat, and you want to use a single database. All the PLUs starting with, let's say, a 6 is for produce, and all the PLUs starting with 4 is for meat. Well, then you can choose to exclude that. So you can choose that you won't send down PLUs that start with a 6 type of idea. So I can see from, let's say, 6,000 to 7,000. So the idea there is I'm going to exclude sending any PLUs from 6,000 to 7,000, that range there, those PLU numbers. Price zones you can use by default. If you have price zones, that means, let's say, you can utilize that to have different prices in the same database for different stores. So you store A, store B, can use price zone A, price zone B, that type of idea. You can also program scale groups, and then you have a database selection, so you can program this software to use multiple databases, and that's another step. But simplicity's sake, we're just going to add this single IP address, and then Uni 5, named it a meat scale. We'll hit OK. I can leave this exclusion here, that's fine. We'll hit OK. We'll hit close. And then we'll wait for it here to finish the setup, and then we'll hit close again, and we'll hit OK. So this here tells me that if I do have my other programs open, they won't take, any of the changes I'm making here won't take it into effect until I either open and close these programs or refresh it. So I'm just going to hit OK here. I know those other programs weren't open, but if I hit double click on my Scaling Pro 5, we'll hit verify later, we'll hit OK. I'll log in as administrator, and you'll notice here under scale network status, my meat scale is there. I have my IP address. I have it enabled, but I'm not connected because physically I'm not connected to a scale right now. But if I was, this would say yes, I was connected. And so just to give you an idea, if I go to add, modify, delete PLUs, I can hit new. I can start entering my PLU data. Let's say test, PLU number 1, it's fine. Scale mode is weight. We'll enter a simple price, $1. I don't have a fixed weight. Pack quantity is 1. Tear, I don't have a tear. Date flag, I want no print, pack date, sell by date, or both pack date and sell by date. So usually I want to print both. Shelf life, let's say it's 5. Barcode is 1, that's fine. And then extra message and extra message 3. So these are when you typically want to add ingredients or specific messages to your PLU. We'll click on the save icon, and then we'll click on the back button up here, and then you see that item there is my test. If you were to add items, and as soon as you click on save and you have a scale connected, it will send down to the scale automatically. And that's pretty much how you set up a basic Scaling Pro 5 setup. If you do have time, you can check out the help section. This is a very concrete manual that will explain a lot of information. You have your user guides in here. You can reference tutorials on how to do things. You have your index with a lot of explanation of how the program works. All right.